Hello? Can you hear me? No, not yet. So, hello? Can you hear me? Well, thank you. Yeah, good. Hello. In fact, I'm going to start again. You've probably been wondering, it's quiet. What's going on? Where's Netlife? What's been happening? The world's just not the same without him. And like the Germans in the First World War, I've come across some unexpected Belgian resistance. Squeaky chair. Not like the Belgians, just figuratively as a metaphor. I've been having technical problems with DV cameras, and specifically the DV out port. Now I've got 3 cameras and they are all broken. None of the DV outs work anymore. I've got the Panasonic, the Sony, and another Sony that I broke a couple of days ago. So, that aside, what's been happening? I hear you ask. Well, I've got my old camera out. So if we go in reverse order, I got this camera out. And this camera looks like... I'll show you what it looks like. I'll take a photograph of it, and I'm having to kind of like think out the box, you know. It's like, looks like that, right? And it's actually this, which I bought ages ago from either Aldi or Lidl. Kind of the same, right? Although if you watched French television the other week, you would have seen that Lidl are worse. Why? Because they treat their staff like slaves. They make them lift things, they make them run around, they make them listen to a robot that says, go to aisle 3, take 50 boxes of tomatoes. No pleasantries, no watch how you go, you know, all very robotic. Apparently that's not good. Honestly, I don't think people really care, you know, and I don't think the people who work for Lidl care that much either. They've got a permanent contract, they're quite well paid, and it's quite good to be busy. If you're not busy, it's boring and time drags. The only people who really are bothered by it all are people like us, the customers. It's us that pay, except that they tell us, no, that's why the food's cheap, because there's not enough staff. Right? That's why you have to wait for 10 minutes minimum. If you go in at lunchtime to get a ham roll, there's one person on the till and there's like 10 people in front of you. Like, fuck, that is annoying. So I've had these camera problems and I've had setbacks and a lot's been going on. I found a dog, and some of my pals on the internet are completely up to date with this, and my friends in real life, but you, my fidel YouTube subscribers, it'll be like, whoa, he's found a dog. Holy shit, what's that? What's going on? I found a dog 10 days ago. Today's Saturday, the 7th of October, and I found the dog the end of September, last Wednesday. And I thought, yeah, I felt sorry for it, and the dog was actually outside an Aldi bothering a tramp. So the beggar was there with a small dog, a kind of like dog you use as a prop, you know. But he seemed happy enough with his owner, and the owner was about 60 odd, and the bigger dog was bothering the guy, and the small dog was. I thought, I went into the shop, did my shopping, and I'm kind of mulling over my options. My options are take the dog, leave the dog. There was a third option: take the dog and deliver the dog straight away to a vet, and you know, they can find the owner. So I came out, I put my trolley back, I dug out some change for the guy. I said, "What's the story with the dog?" He said, "It's a stray, it's abandoned." Like, he didn't know. He said, "It's been bothering me." And I said, "I think I'm going to take it. Oh, I like that dog. I'm going to take it." And he said, "Yeah, go for it." I got her in the car, and then she climbed over the front seat and got in the driver's seat, and I couldn't shift her. So I got out, she jumped out, she didn't want to get back in. He said, "Hey, give her this." And he gave me a top premium brand can of dog food. And sure enough, she got in. And yeah, so I took the option. I took the second option, and I didn't take the third option. You know, it was always on the card still to reunite the dog if the dog turned out to have an owner, which it did. And so I came home, and the cat took a great exception to this dog, and fled. And a series of events led to the fact that the cat was missing from Wednesday, that day, until 4 days ago on Wednesday. 7 days. During those 7 days, I wouldn't say I was going out of my mind, but I felt guilty because I'd brought this hunting dog home, and it was a hunting dog, and caused the cat to run off and maybe get killed, maybe get eaten, maybe be savaged by foxes, wolves, wild sheep. So it was... I'll go back a bit. Alright, so I kept the dog for 3 days. I went to the vet on Friday, they found a chip, and I took it to the owner on Saturday. And the owner got his dog. He was really happy. He'd had the dog since she was a puppy, and he used her for hunting deer, which I was like, deer? Okay, pretty big animal, right? Deer. She was a fabulous dog. She was beautiful to look at, nice natured, fun, energetic. When I first got her here, she went a bit crazy because the neighbours got chickens and rabbits, and as soon as she literally got wind of these creatures, she found a way to get under the barrier, and I pulled her out by the tail before she got under the first time, stopped her again. It was just relentless. She just would not renounce the pursuit of getting through this fence. Pulled her back again, got a chair, got a base of a lawnmower, like a plastic thing, against the chair, looking for something else. She's in. And she was going crazy. I had to get over the fence. It was something out of a Steven Seagal movie. Pendant ce temps-là, during that time, le chat elle se barrait, the cat buggered off, basically. And I was left thinking that because she couldn't go into the back garden, her usual domain, because of all the noise, and she would have gone at the front, and she would have gone down the road there. And that was it. She's like old, she's deaf. She doesn't know where she is. She doesn't speak French. She's an English cat. So it was like, fuck. Anyway, Saturday came. I took the dog to the vet on Friday. Saturday, reunited it with its owner. Her with her owner. Her with his owner. Her with her owner. And I'd lost my cat. Anyway, as I say, it's a twisted story of events because my neighbour is away for the first time in forever, as far as I'm concerned, because all the time I've lived here, she's never been away. She's away in Egypt for like, I don't know, 3 weeks. And, of course, it turns out the cat was hiding at the neighbour's house. But the woman that was looking after the house and my immediate neighbour here, who goes around to look after the chickens and the rabbits, anything to tell me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jim, you're the cat. Yeah, she's it's okay. So I'm kind of like beating myself up with worry, right? And I got these pictures made up, and so that was that really. And I made a film of the dog, who I named Scout, in honour of the fact that, you know, I thought she was like a scout. She was kind of like out there hunting the Mohicans, etc. And I thought, well, I can't do anything with it. You know, this film is going to rest in the can. I've lost the cat. It's a terrible ending to the story. And then, voila, I found the cat. No, I was really. I wrote on my friend's website that I've almost given up, and the next day was the Wednesday, and I came back from giving an English lesson. I turn around, but she was like, Lottie. And the night before, talking of death, right? This beautiful creature took her quite a while to die. And that was pretty horrible, you know, because I didn't want him to die. I wanted him to live and fly off. Anyway, he died, and I don't know how will you be able to see that, but because another thing, I can't see what you're seeing, so I don't know. So everything was dying, right? So the cat came back, the moth died, and then the DV player died. So it's just like, you know, I tell you, the guy that invented the DV outpour on camcorders was, I don't know, he just had a grudge against humanity, I suppose. They are so prone to getting broken. So I'm going to have to buy a new camcorder. You know, it's like, what else can I do? What else can I do? And then worry about breaking another one. So, how many times have I said so? I'm going to be sounding as bad as Janet Yellen. So you're asking me, do I shop at Quick Save or do I shop at Tesco's? Yeah, the stock market. Interesting. Janet Yellen, I condemned on the admin board as being senile, without mincing my words, after watching her performance, her last real performance on the telly, and just the reverentialness of it all, you know. Miss Yellen, it's like the Federal Reserve and the bank system, and it's just like people are like, you know, like as if they know, as if the Federal Reserve know what they're doing. They are afforded so much respect. It's like so reverential, like royalty, you know. I finished my little sketch by, you know, swans were served and jesters come in and little dwarves come in and start dancing around, and, like a scene from a medieval banquet, you know. And sure enough, she is going to resign pretty soon, and she's been an absolute blessing for the market. It's been like just stock prices, I mean, just everything's great, you know. Boeing, like nearly $300 a share. like up, I don't know, up a lot in the last year. Military stocks, all this talk of war. Great, brilliant. Business has never been better. So that's good. And of course, you have the FANG stocks like Netflix, Google, Alphabet, Facebook, Amazon. They've all done really well. But they're kind of like, they're there now really. So the top one of the campfire is they're going to ease off a bit. But there's always, just till now, jusque-là, up till now, there's always been the next wave of interest in something. Last week it was automakers. It was cars, because the new thing is electric cars. Electric cars, right? We're all going to be driving electric cars, possibly driverless. And so GM had a big up week. You know, I mean, like the market since 2009, when the Dow was at 6,000. Incredible to think. And the S&P was at 600, was it 666? I don't know, maybe it was, you know, in like March 2009. It's just been one way really, and only now are companies like GE and General Electric and General Motors kind of like, yeah, they're coming to the party. If you've been holding GE stock, like a friend of mine has forever, he works for GE, they're nowhere. But now it's like all that is necessary for the next momentum of the rally, because the people are talking about not selling until they know what the situation with the tax is going to be, this new tax regime where you'll have lower rates for corporate tax and wealthy individuals. And you know, last week you had Warren Buffett saying that stocks are still the best place in town. There's a reason why the stocks have gone up. Obviously, you know, it's QE and bond prices are down, interest rates are low, so stocks are good, right? And he thinks that, you know, people are going to hold off selling until. Why would you sell now if you could sell and take a capital gain charge, a tax, when you could delay it and sell it next year, 2018, and have benefit from the new regime? But of course that's an unknown. It's not known, but the general mood is that something is going to happen. Paul Ryan, Mr. Bow and Arrow man, who is the Speaker of the House, and I tip to be a runner sometime. He's going to be president, that guy, sooner or later. He's behind it with Trump, so they are going to get something done. As far as where the stock market is and that being baked into the price, it's definitely in the price. Of course it's in the price. You know, financials were also going up had a good week last week. Interestingly, Donald Trump was in Puerto Rico, and he said, well, Goldman Sachs can sort out the debt. It's their stuff, right? They're gonna pay the bonds for the debt of Puerto Rico. And of course, the next day, Goldman Sachs was up big time. You know, it's just like Goldman Sachs. They just like, you know, you're like Goldman Sachs. They've got a lot of debt. They've got shit. You know, the president's just gone out there and said, you know, it's their problem. The debt's going to be wiped. And you think, well, you know, that's not great, right? Of course, the day before. It was like, I don't know, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, they'd all done well, and Goldman Sachs wasn't even mentioned. The president says this, the next day Goldman Sachs leads the Dow. leads the Dow. You know, it's like any fuck that thought they were going to sell Goldman, you know, go in there, bust a few heads, right? Put that little thing to rest. Of course, it could well be that they do end up losing money, but you know, they'll always make money, so it's not a big deal, whatever. So I made a few notes. Yes, Barcelona, Spain. Stock market, done that. I've been doing big greniers, and the season is coming to an end. I'm sad to say. It's October. I don't even know if I'm going to do anything tomorrow. I'll see. I've got things in the pipeline as far as... I've got things in the can as far as videos go. Things that I managed to transfer from the cameras to the MacBook before the DV cable became an issue, before it broke for the last fucking... I can't believe it. You know, I'll show you them. Like, two great cameras, right? This is my Panasonic NV500, and I don't know what you see, but that DV's fucked. You know, the camera's fine. You know, you play tapes, and as long as you play it back through something that's got a port it's okay. It's okay. So it was okay, right? Except I couldn't do time lapse stuff. And there was a beautiful sunset the other day. I went out, and the last time I used it, the cable had worked. It's always a bit, but it works. And I hadn't used it for a week, since the dog, really. I haven't used it to link up to the computer. I haven't used the DV output. I go to set it up with the computer so I can use stop motion. Nothing. And fucking cheap cable I bought off eBay to replace this cable that got fucked, knackered up this. So this is another camcorder that's fine, and this comes with a base that you sit the camera on, and the base, you can charge it, you can take it off, you can charge it, and there's also a port out for the DV, right? So this is what I was using to get stuff onto the computer. That's gone as well. And I had to tell you, when I broke it, I was not pleased. It was not a pretty sight. I took to my bed. I went to bed and I stayed there for 72 hours. Got up. I was like, fucking hell. Bad back. And I've still got the problems with the cameras. The first thing I did to make myself feel better was I went online and I bought another DV cable, but this time I bought one that's branded. Yeah, it's a good one. Like, I mean, this end of a DV cable is good. These are strong. These are built to last. These were made by Mr. Rolls, okay, of Rolls-Royce. He designed these, and this was made by the guy that designed the Reliant, the three-wheeler. He did the other end. So this is obviously one that's, you know, just broken. So I've ordered a Philips one of those, and that made me feel a bit more optimistic and at peace. And I'm looking at a new camera. Voila. So watch this space for the camera. As soon as I know something, you eventually will know as well. Until then, I've got some music that I quite like, but I don't know what to put it with. What do you put it with? I've got some old footage. I'm making the kind of thing with Sonny, like Sonny's second movie. I've got the footage of the dog, and the last day when oh no, that's still in the camera. You can't see that yet. And I've got these cameras. Now I like these cameras. You know, this camera, this Silvercrest. Okay, I bought this back in the day when a GoPro was like a GoPro Hero 3, maybe. I mean, I saw a thing for the latest GoPro the other day. From like Redwire or something I get via email, you know, and it's telling me about the I paid €100 for this camera, and I bought it. Well, I bought it at 7:30 at night. That's a lot of help, isn't it? the 27th of November 2014. And there's no screen on it, right? So what you can do with it is there's an application that you download if you've got Google, if you've got an I've got a fucking Windows phone, right? Now, Windows phone, I went into the shop the other day. I said, I want to get rid of my Windows phone. I want another phone. I want a Sony. I want a Sony ZX, please. And she said, oh, yeah. I said, I'm fed up with it. She said, yeah, I can understand that, yeah. So you've got these Windows phones. And, of course, getting the application of Silvercrest active camera, it's a palaver, right? You can't, but basically you can have a Wi-Fi app so you can see on your phone what the camera can see. I've also got this camera which my brother got me from Hong Kong, and it's a great camera. Cheers, mate. Cheers, Al. I really like it, but it won't talk to the Apple Mac, which is a real pain in the arse, because it's a real pain in the arse, because obviously I can't use it. But I really like it. It's a funky little camera. So that's it from me. And the butterfly and the cat, and I'm going to see if this has worked. If this is even recorded, because there's like no light on or anything. I know the audio's okay, he said, because it's recording. Jesus, I've been going on for quite a long time. Thanks for listening, and enjoy Blade Runner 2049. I haven't seen it yet. I'm not really in any massive rush to see it, to be honest. I really like the concept. I really like the actors. But I've got Frantic on DVD with Anthony Hopkins and Ryan Gosling. And anytime I want to see a bit of Ryan Gosling or Anthony Hopkins, that's my go-to film, really. I watched that and I thought, this guy, Ryan Gosling, wow, he is going to be huge. He is going to be huge. And once again, I was completely right. He is probably the biggest star on the planet, I would say, at the moment, amongst the men of a certain age. You know, like 2017 so far, we had Tom Petty die last year, and it hasn't really been a year like last year, when we had Bowie and Prince and Terry Wogan and lots of other people die. Victoria Wood, just like many people that I can't think of. Glenn Fry, Don Henley, Glenn Fry. It was not my favourite Eagle. But 2017 has been pretty minor, really. But they've kind of like done a bit to get back in, you know, and the year's not over yet. But when Jack Nicholson dies, then people are going to take Twitter, you know. They'll be on Twitter, be like, holy shit, fuck Jack Nicholson, what a great actor. He's probably the best ever Batman. The best. But Ryan Gosling has an intensity to him that is very magnetic, you know. The boys want to be like him, the girls want to be with him. Blade Runner, I could go and see it. Nothing's stopping me. I could go and see it tonight. If I could work up the enthusiasm. That's it, really, you know. If somebody said to me, come out and see it, I would, all right then. To be honest, I could make an effort and go and watch it. But I did hear on the grapevine that it's make or break for Hollywood with this movie, right? This is it, make or break. And I'm like, wow, why? What's the reason for that then? Is it streaming? Is it Harvey Weinstein being arrested for being fingered for feeling girls' bums in lifts, allegedly, or asking to massage him, or scrape the hairs off his back with a butter knife? Who knows? as far as I'm concerned, Harvey Weinstein is like a badass. You know, if I got into a buff with Harvey Weinstein, it'd be like, yeah, watch out, basically, because that guy he's like the Jew bear in Inglourious Basterds, basically. If you want a Jew bear in real life, that's your man, Harvey Weinstein. You know, he's like the Don Arden of the film business. If you were doing some streaming, right, anything Miramax, watch out, because he's going to bust your chops. And yeah, he's got his comeuppance, but I'm not happy that he should get his comeuppance in this way. I don't particularly like the fact that, you know, somebody says something, it's like, yeah, that's what happened. I was there. He asked me to scratch his back with a postage stamp. Whatever, you know. I mean, anybody that that lives in that world, that's the way it goes, right? I mean, there are homosexual predators that have preyed on me. You know, I don't go running after them saying, you tried to fill me up at a wedding, or I went for a job interview and I was. I'm sure me and a lot of other people could do that. We don't bother, frankly, because we're not. You have to accept. I don't know. It's a funny thing. You have to. First of all, it's my word against somebody else's. It's their word against somebody else's. And there are so many things at the moment about equal pay for women, equal rights for women. Things have got to be equal. When patently, women and men will never be equal. You know, the day that women go out and do back-breaking work, and maybe there's a lot of women that go, "You do back-breaking work." Well, you know, okay, some of you do, but there's a lot more men do a lot more lifting because men are stronger, right? But men's backs aren't necessarily stronger. You know, a back is not. It's not a muscle. It's something that wears away. And you know, it's like all men pay for the sins of a few, basically. You know, the Simon Cowells, the Harvey Weinsteins, the Max Cliffords, the kind of predatory male, whether they're homosexual or heterosexual, give the rest of us men a bad fucking name. And it's like, I'm supposed to carry the sins of every, you know, no, fuck that. Everyone, I'd like to treat everybody as equal. I'd like to treat everybody as equal, but the reality is that we're not all treated equally. And when you live with that in reality, sometimes it's just like, oh my God, you know, it's just like, pff. Other people sort of like force that reality. They force it, you know. When you hear about learned professors being sacked for minor misdemeanor, and who says it's it's an opinion about something, or it's like, oh bloody hell, where's this going to end? You know, I'll tell you what, then the men will just say, you know what, go fucking do it yourself then. You know, just do it yourself. We'll see what happens. That'll never happen. But I mean, imagine if it did. See what happens in Spain. I think the situation is going to calm itself down, but next week. But it's a situation that's possibly not just going to go away. And I really think that it's not like carte blanche for everybody else to do the same thing, you know, to want independence as well. Just because they have, we want it. But it is in a way. Is it worse than North Korea? Well, it's different to North Korea. It's more another thing to worry about, and it's on the doorstep. And it's kind of like, you know, we had the civil war in Spain in the 1930s, and civil war is terrible. So, yeah. Harvey Weinstein, Spanish Civil War, which is the worst? Well, Spanish Civil War. Men's rights against women, which is the worst? Spanish Civil War. Spanish Civil War. So, keeping things in perspective, me losing all my DV inputs, Spanish Civil War, right? But that's an interesting thing as well, and I'm really going to stop, because that, you know, it doesn't matter how great somebody's life is, how things are all good, yada yada yada. There's always something to piss somebody off with, you know. Like when the Jews were in the Krakow ghetto and they had nothing and they were eating rats, they had something to moan about, right? Okay. They get off the train at Auschwitz and they're like, shit, I'd rather be back in the ghetto. And people today can have a great life and still not be happy. Like, there's always something that you want, or not everybody's like that. Some people have a natural joie de vivre, and some people just never fucking happy, you know. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you're all good, and I hope you found this a diversion. If, you know, I'll give you a tip, right, although I should have given you it at the start. It's like, you can press ×2 and watch it twice as fast. That gives you twice as much time to look at other videos and look at other things. I know what it's like. It's just, I know I said I was going to stop, but I'll just say this. There is so much choice. You could literally just say, get a conveyor belt with food, have a toilet under you, a machine to lift your arms, so you do it, well, you can do it yourself, but I don't know, and just sit. Well, the video's finished. You hear that bip bip, so you know, it's just like you just sit and watch. You get up and start watching videos. Last week we had Netflix, who are going to give you more choice. So you've got Netflix, you've got me on YouTube, you've got all your subscribers on YouTube, you've got your regular TV, you've got, what else have you got on demand? I mean, I don't know. YouTube's kind of like, it's like it really. You know, I mean, if you go onto Facebook, if everything's via YouTube, right? So, anyway, guys, I love you and leave you, and see you next time.